Hello everyone, and welcome to our game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Korn, and he is in the Pommern, a tier 9 premium German battleship. He is on the map Northern Lights in a 4-point domination game, so it's a tier 9 battle. The top tier is obviously amazing. There are 3 destroyers, and there is a carrier. And hello torpedoes. So Korn obviously has used his hydro here because the enemy destroyer was spotted. He got one secondary hit into the DD. And oh, there is the enemy destroyer. Looks like he is running away there. Now, the friendlies here have sort of abandoned this flank, which means our battleship here has to be a bit careful. He is currently facing like a Kansas, a Soyuz, a Mogami and a Leningrad, and his only real backup is the Mahan. Now the other ships spawned here on the left flank have kinda abandoned, although like we have those 2 ships there in the back. It may or may not be able to help, but they are a little bit too far away there. Now of course, a 4-point domination game mode is a little bit awkward here because, well, I mean, you have the 2 regular camps here on the center and the right side, and then here on the left side you have those 2 camps. These are your starting points. And it's almost as if you're fighting like your own standard battle here, because you can't push far enough towards the enemy camp, but you still gotta kind of bend your side, so you're not really fighting for an objective here, because the objectives are already taken and they are too far into the enemy's territory to really push. But hey, anyway.
Achtung, melde Zielposition.
The Leningrad has been spotted again. And well, Secondaries trying their best. Main guns too. And that was, well, I mean, for a Pommern. Yes, 2 hits aren't too bad. Now Hydro is almost running out, which will be a problem because you won't see the Leningrad torpedoes coming that easily again. Now Leningrad has 8-kilometer torps, and it's currently farther away than that. But it might have launched a little bit earlier, so don't know if there are torpedoes on the way or not. Now Korn here is reversing towards the enemy. Not an uncommon thing, I guess, for a Pommern, because you have slightly better gun angles if you are having the rear towards the enemy. And it looks like that Leningrad is going down. Now he is a little bit broadside towards that Kansas. And while German battleships can't really be easily citadelled, it still hurts if you get penetrated. Now the destroyer has been taken care of, and next up will be the Kansas. Now the Charles Martel has actually come here to help, which is very nice. Also, one still had her explosive loaded there. Got 2 fires into the Kansas, which is also pretty lovely. And oh, there goes the Charles, and there goes the Kansas. Now, what's not so unfortunate is that C and D have been taken by the enemy, and the friendlies on the other side seem to be unwilling to actually fight this battle. And oh, a friendly destroyer just got explodified. Also not so helpful. But yeah, like, this is the issue. Like, the friendly ships are just way too far back, right? Now, the friendly scone is also, I don't know what he's doing. Like, there is no reason to be there, right? What he needs to do is try to fight for those objectives. Now, it can be frustrating if your team isn't supporting you, but this is kind of just a suicide move. Especially in a game with a carrier, like, there is no excuse for that friendly destroyer. But, you know, also the friendly ships, they need to actually do something about this enemy push, and they need to try to get closer and fight for those objectives. Meanwhile, of course, Korn is still here on this awkward flank, where he just can't really push because the enemies have too many ships, and he can't just, you know, run away easily because then he'd up this flank entirely. But I don't know, at this point I would even consider going towards C maybe. Simply to try to take a camp. And if the enemy team isn't, like, I mean, the enemy team doesn't look like they are willing to go too aggressive here. But anyway, the Mars is currently spotted and the Secondaries are shooting, so if they can take care of the Mars here, that will be amazing. How explosive is loaded for destroyer. And, well, thanks to the carrier, that Mars isn't going to disappear. Well, then again, if the carrier drops his... Oh, there's a smoke screen. Okay, the enemy destroyer is going to disappear. If that Mars survives, that would be rather sad. Managed to drop into concealment. Guns are almost reloaded. So Kun might be trying to take a blind shot there. Well, we will see. Now, the Musashi is pushing forward. Thanks to that island, Kun will be able to basically duel the Musashi without the Soyuz and the Mogami being able to help there. And well, I don't feel like with the Mahan there, the Mars won't be able to really push forward and get some good torps off. Hydro is running, although right now it looks like the destroyer won't be able to get sneaky torps off anyway. Now, Kon is using a high explosive. Yeah, I mean, it's an angled Musashi, so it makes sort of sense. He isn't going to do effective with armor piercing, so he's just decided to let's try to set some fires and burn the enemy battleship. The secondaries are helping with the fires, so there is that. And he's trying to stay very angled here. I mean, good choice. Trying to use his rear guns here wouldn't be very helpful, I think. So right now, he's just slowly whittling down the Musashi. Biggest problem he might have is we saw the Mars coming this way, so there might be I mean, there's still Hydro running, but torpedoes might be an issue. Soyuz is also coming this way. If like the Mogami and the Soyuz are going to help the Musashi, this might get a bit dicey. Meanwhile, we have a Chambard that's trying to roleplay as a carrier, or I don't know. His position might suggest that. Also, a Mars spotted, and Kon has immediately switched his secondaries over there, and yeah, I think the secondaries got this. Hopefully. Come on, secondaries. You can do it. There we go. So, of course, yeah, there are the torpedoes, so he is moving forward and he should be able to dodge them. Also, it's now getting a little bit more problematic because the enemy has finally got some reinforcements there. Meanwhile, of course, none of the caps under the friendly control still, but at least the friendly ships have realized where the objective is. The friendly cone was eaten as expected, and I don't know, the enemy is now the one team that has decided that, I don't know, playing this game is overrated. Now, Kon has found some cover here behind the island. He's got some torpedoes off. I'm not like, it looks like he targeted the Mogami. They might be meant for the Soyuz if the Soyuz pushes in. Now, what he could do is he could just wait, right? The enemy seems to be pushing in, and he could try to line ambush. Now he's already used his torpedoes, which would make this a bit awkward. And there is a chance that the Mogami is going to Hydro, but I think I would slow down here and try to get some good shots off against the Mogami. But he's decided to try another option. And he's pushing around here and going after the Musashi. Now, of course, the Musashi, like, he can possibly get a nice broadside salvo against the Musashi. Musashi also will be in secondary range, and the other ships can't really get out there. And I mean, like the Soyuz, the Mogami, and the Musashi, all three of them are kind of in a firefight, I suppose, with the Minnesota and the well, there goes the Minnesota. Now I'll say this, catching the Musashi a bit off guard with Citadels worked splendidly. Now the Musashi is angling, so he won't have another chance of that, but well, if the Musashi gets close enough, he can torpedo her. And the secondaries are going to be very helpful. Now I'm not sure if he's using IFHE secondaries. He might be, because if I remember correctly, he only had 4 heal charges in total. if you are going, like if you are not using Superintendent, you're usually having a very secondary focus build. And oh, there is the Mogami here, so he's decided to torp the Musashi and try to probably citadel the Mogami. Needs to get the Mogami before it gets torps off, and well, that worked.
Gegnerischer Kreuzer zerstört.
Well, or at least I hope it worked. Musashi is almost down. And the torpedo. And even a cheeky double strike there. Now, he didn't quite enter the camp. He basically turned because he was afraid of the torpedo launch, I presume. So, now the enemy team is still ahead on points, and friendlies have finally managed to take the decap. So, I mean, the right side is pretty funny, because originally the friendly team was sitting so far in the back and ignoring the objective, and then the enemy team basically ran away and ignored the objective, and the friendlies moved in. So, both teams are trying to figure out who can play worse on this flank, which is, you know, interesting. Now, meanwhile, Korn is on his way towards the B camp because he wants to take care of the Soyuz. He could have... Oh, there is the carrier. He could have tried staying in A, but, you know, the carrier would have just interrupted him anyway. And this Soyuz needs taking care of.
Problem gelöst.
Now, the friendly Mahan could try to rush and sink the carrier, but unfortunately we all know that when it comes to destroyers versus carriers, usually the carrier wins. Now it looks like Korn has just switched to high explosive because the Soyuz is angled. Although there isn't much Soyuz remaining, he got one fire with the secondaries which got damage count because the Soyuz is on low health, and there we go. There is a Kraken unleashed and another close quarters expert. So, friendlies are doing pretty fine ship-wise, but not so fine points-wise. There is still 5 minutes left. So what's Korn going to do now? He could try to sail into sea, to flip sea, but we have a Chambard on its way there. He could turn around and try to hunt this carrier. Although the issue is, of course, the carrier can just sit behind this island and be safe. Meanwhile, you know, one isn't healthy enough to really survive a carrier attack. Of course, if the carrier is moving forward like this, well, the Mahan might be able to finish off the carrier. There is a very good salvo into the carrier. Ops are on the way there. Well, there goes the Mahan. So the question is, will the torps actually connect? Well, it looks like there was a torp hit there. Carrier is still alive. Now, if the friendly carrier would go over there and provide some spotting, would sink the enemy carrier right now. I mean, oh, there is even... So basically he kind of looked where I think the torpedo connected and used it as an indicator where to fire his guns, and he even got lucky with an overpen. But like, the enemy carrier has to be very low, right? The carrier was very low already, then he got hit by one torpedo and now by one overpen. So the friendly carrier could really just take care of that. Oh, and the friendly Orc just got the enemy's cone. So all scones have been eaten. Now, yeah, Kon is trying to signal the friendly carrier to just go after the enemy carrier. Like, if the enemy carrier is this low, then this would really be the best use of the friendly carrier's time. Because neither the Iowa nor the well, okay, the San Luis is low now. I was just trying to say the other ships aren't that low, but you know. Also, Kon is just trying to, I guess, sail away from the carrier in the hopes that he's surviving there. And there goes the San Luis. Now, Kon is getting pretty low here. At this point, he could try to just drop. I mean, is the carrier not coming from? Wait, I have to see this. Okay, so the carrier is dropping this Musashi that's very healthy, instead of going for the 3,000 health Pommern. 3,000 health Pommern spotted him. Let's give him back camera control there. Okay, so Korn is shooting this IUI, it looks like. I mean, I think I would just stay in concealment at this point. It looks like the friendlies are going to win, even if they lose the Pommern. But, you know, with that amount of hit points, I would just stay concealed. Friendly carrier, by the way, has dropped by the plane here, which is rather lovely of him, and he's finally going after the Shokaku, although we're now at 950 points almost. And again, the enemy team is on a lot of points too. But, well, the enemy team would need to sink more than one ship. Take the win here, especially since they have no longer a points income. So Korn is playing with fire here, and he's still surviving. Okay, so the carry is spotted. Can we see how much hit points he has? No, we can't. But yeah, I mean, this is over. Well, which brings us to the results, and Korn, I don't know how much base experience he got, but he definitely had a pretty nice battle there with 3 close quarters expert, a double strike, a dreadnought, a kraken, and a high caliber, sinking 6 enemy ships, scoring 207,000 points of damage, and barely surviving this fight. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you next time.